In today's lesson, we are going to look at equations with fractions where we have a sign change, and you are going to learn how to look out for the sign change and how to actually do it, as well as one other thing which I will point out. So here we have an equation with fractions, and you can see that there's minuses and pluses in our numerators and denominators. So we're going to have to factorize first. Now let's start. So 2x squared minus 4x has a common factor of 2x. So we take out 2x and then we have an x minus 2 in brackets that is left. Okay, and then we have at the bottom, this is a trinomial factorization, so we're going to have x minus 2 and x minus 1. That is equal to 1 over x minus 2. Well, I can only take out a common 1, so we're going to have a x minus 2 in brackets. Then we're going to have minus 2 over 1 minus x. Again, I take out a common factor, which is only a 1, and we have 2 over 1 minus x in brackets. And then we have a plus 1. But as you can see, this term is not a fraction. So here's the other thing you have to remember. When we have terms that are not written as fractions, we have to change them into fractions because they are very valuable when it comes to the lowest common divider. So how do we make a term into a fraction? Well, we put it over 1. So here we have plus 1 over 1. Okay, now that all our terms are fractions and we finish factorization, we can find the lowest common divider. So we start here on the left at the denominators, and then we just work our way to the right and keep adding them to our LCD as we go. So x minus 2, well, we have to put that into our lowest common divider. Then we have a x minus 1. Well, there's not an x minus 1 yet, so we add it to our, or we put it into our lowest common divider. Then we have a x minus 2. Well, it's already there. And then this is now what you need to look out for. So here we have a 1 minus x, okay? But we have a x minus 1. These two at the moment are not the same because here's a positive x, there's a negative x, there's a negative 1, there's a positive 1. So we've got the same two things in the brackets, but their signs are completely different. So what we can do is we can take out a minus 1. So then we change these signs. So if I take out a minus 1, this becomes a negative 1 and this becomes a positive x. Now this bracket is exactly the same as that one, so we don't need to add an extra bracket to our LCD. And that kind of makes the sum way more complicated if we add a third bracket here. Okay, so this is a nice little trick that we can do. So now that we know that we don't have to add this bracket again, we have a minus here and a minus here, and these two minuses will change this into a positive. Okay, so there we go. And now we can simply say that this is a 1. We don't need to add the 1 to the LCD because 1 times anything stays this anything, right? Okay, awesome. Now that we have the LCD, we can simply take it and divide with the denominators. So x minus 2, x minus 1 divided by x minus 2, x minus 1 is a 1. And 1 times the numerator is equal to 2x and x minus 2. And now that is equal to x minus 2, x minus 1 divided by x minus 2, and what is left? X minus 1, and 1 times x minus 1 is 1 times x minus 1. Okay, wonderful. And now we go to the next term. So we have x minus 2, x minus 1 divided by minus 1 plus x. So this one and this one is the same, so they cancel out. And then we have a positive 2 times x minus 2, which is now left in our LCD, right? So we've got 2 times x minus 2. And then we have plus, and here is why this is so important, because x minus 2, x minus 1 divided by 1 is x minus 2, x minus 1. So 1 times this that is left is x minus 2, x minus 1. And now we got rid of all the fractions. Now it's simply multiplication. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times minus 2 is minus 4x, because this is a distributive law. 1 minus x is x. 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. And positive 2 times x is positive 2x. A positive 2 times minus 2 is a minus 4. And then this is a product of two binomials. So we simply go x times x is x squared. X times minus 1 is minus x, and minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and minus 2 times minus 1 is a positive 2. And as you can see, in all of these answers that are left, we've got an x squared, so this is quadratic equations. So we're going to move all our terms to one side, and we're going to simplify. And then I end up with x squared minus 4x plus 3, which is equal to 0. Now in this quadratic equation, which is a trinomial, I'm going to do factorization, and then I end up with x minus 3 and x minus 1 equals 0. This is a zero product rule, so what makes this bracket a 0? When x is a 3, so x is equal to 3, and what makes this bracket a 0? When x is a 1, and there we go, x is equal to 1. These are our two answers. But now, since we have equations with fractions and there's an x in our denominators, we have to test our answers. So if we take this 1 and we put it in there, 1 minus 1 is a 0, which makes this entire denominator a 0. We're not allowed to divide by 0, so this is x cannot be equal to 1, so our only answer is a 3. And that is all there is to it. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.